Woke ESPN made a big move. NBA fans have been begging for it. Well, it never involves white people. It always involves a white person being demoted. She just didn't add anything. Had enough of Doris Burke's insanity. The number one seat wasn't right for her. She wasn't good enough at it. But the facts of the matter are people do listen to and watch games for the announcers. You do. Morning, it's a beautiful Friday as we get ready. We're actually somewhat in the middle of a great football season. I still have a throat. I'm sounding like Robert Kennedy Jr., but I got a great-looking shirt on, and Joe Kinsey's going to comment on that. Top story coming up, Doris Burke got demoted. Micah Parsons got traded. I'm going to give you bets. Jim Irsay. We're finding out why he passed in a big-time story. Joe Kinsey joins. What are you talking about? It's Don't At Me. It starts right now. Oh, man, we're going to get into some cash this weekend as this show is brought to you and presented by Prize Picks. I'll have some Prize picks ready for you because, well, frankly, that's what I do. Oh, we got a shakeup at ESPN, and it involves white people. It never involves white people. It always involves a white person being demoted and a black person or a woman, in particular a black woman, getting promoted. But not this time. Good for our friend Tim Legler, a.k.a. Legs. He has earned it. He is replacing Doris Burke. Doris Burke, the DEI hire, has been demoted. She is no longer on the first team. Great diss track, by the way. No Vaseline, talking about Yella being on the first team. I always think about that when I say first team because I'm hip like that. I'm cool like that. I'm down like that. Aren't we all? All of us white guys must be down. Woke ESPN made a big move. They did. They promoted friend of the show, Tim Legler, to the big chair. The NBA Finals chair that was previously held by Doris Burke. Now, of course, you got to have Richard Jefferson, Mike Breener in there. But Doris Burke came under fire because, well, frankly, Doris Burke wasn't very good at her job. She's a very nice lady. I worked with her. I really liked her. But the number one seat wasn't right for her. She wasn't good enough at it. Legler, who has been in the background as multiple idiots have jumped ahead of him because of their gender or because of their color, he has simply done his job in a professional manner for 20 years at ESPN, mostly nondescript. But he continued to work at it, continued to keep his head down and grind. And finally, the powers to be at ESPN realized, wait a second, we got a problem. Our broadcast team for our biggest NBA piece isn't good enough. They realized it, well, late, but all you had to do was watch. Tim Legler brings an insight that Doris Burke could never bring. Doris Burke brought a fact that she was a woman. That's it. So, NBA fans have been begging for it. They have. NBA fans that watched the finals had enough of Doris Burke's insanity. Look, I don't think anything that Doris Burke ever said or ever did was that bad. I'm going to play some of her greatest hits. I don't think that. In fact, I would argue she was nondescript. She just didn't add anything. And you're supposed to add something. When you work at ESPN, this was my specialty, forecasting. You're supposed to know the game well enough to say what's going to happen in advance. You're supposed to entertain. That's what I always thought you were supposed to do. And you're supposed to keep your mouth shut. Now that rule is violated constantly by everybody, particularly Big Ten basketball announcers. They're the worst. But anyway, Doris Burke, when she opened her mouth, gave us nothing. Zero. Nada. Tim Legler played the game at a very high level. In fact, he was a three-point percentage champion of the NBA, but Tim Legler studies basketball. I'm sure Doris Burke studies basketball. I know she played at some little school in New York, and she's a New York gal and very nice lady. But frankly, it wasn't the job for her. So here's some of Doris's greatest hits, labeling Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a free throw merchant. I don't know whether that's good or bad or not. See, I don't think any of these are all that bad. Made a Nazi reference when discussing German-born Isaiah Hartenstein, saying, I don't know much about history, but I know the French and the Germans don't like each other. You know, if Lee Corso said that, nobody would be upset. If Dick Vitale said that, nobody would be upset. If Stephen A. Smith said that, people would be upset. If Doris Burke said that, people get upset because they don't like her. So anytime you make sort of, kind of, maybe a reference to something that could possibly be deemed controversial and people don't like you, it's going to be brought up. She also said, I do believe 100% that Black Lives Matter and that the cause to achieve and pursue equality supersedes basketball. That's Doris Burke on Kyrie Irving sitting out games in the wake of George Floyd's death, which, by the way, has been ruled by fentanyl. I just saw today. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just saw it. It was on X, so it's got to be true. Look, good for Doris Burke. She's down with the cause. If Black Lives Matter so much, why don't black people stop killing black people? I think we can say that now. You know, that's the biggest fallacy of that. Of course, that's a side note to what Doris Burke said, but I get it. She's a little white girl trying to navigate in a big arena with a lot of African Americans. So you got to be down with the cause. We all get that. Seriously. All right, fan reaction was universal. Goodbye. I'm glad Doris Burke is gone, this was said. The way she dwelled on irrelevant aspects of the game and would go on those long-winded rants took away from the viewing experience. Nobody tuned in to listen to Doris. We tuned in to watch the game, and her failing to realize that is why she's out. Maybe. Like, I'll be honest with you. When I hear Dick Vitale or heard Dick Vitale doing a game, I thought it was a big game. And I wanted to listen. Back in the day, when I heard, "You are looking live" from Brent Musburger, I knew it was a big game. So I disagree that people don't tune in to watch an announcer. I don't disagree with the long-winded rants. And frankly, the voice. You got to have a certain voice. Like my voice right now sucks. If you're still listening to this, thank you. But you're listening to somebody that apparently has something in his throat that he can't get out, no matter how many times I try to hock a loogie. But the facts of the matter are people do listen to and watch games for the announcers. You do. I'm sorry. I mean, that person is not right. ESPN replaces Doris Burke with Tim Legler. If only it had happened before this past season's finals. Why? What's the difference? Here's a few more ideas for you, ESPN. If you really want to get serious about putting out great content, Screaming A out, Mike Wilbon takes his place, Perk out, Mark Jackson in. See, here's the deal with all of that. People complained about Mark Jackson. They did. People complained about Van Gundy. They did. In that announcer's chair, and I learn this, I learn it every day, people are going to complain, no matter what. There is not an announcer alive that says or does anything interesting that people don't complain about. Now, I don't know whether ESPN listened to the complaints. Maybe, just maybe, ESPN listened to the broadcast and said this isn't up to snuff, particularly if a white person is doing it. They don't care about up to snuff if an African-American is doing it. I've told you many times, Burke Magnus, Mike McQuade, whatever his name is, they sit in Building 4 on the 7th floor at ESPN's campus and care about one thing, and that's that they don't get attacked for being racist. That's what they care about. I know this. I don't think this. I know this, and make damn sure that the 401ks are still stacking and the stock options are good. That's it. Salute to them, though. It's, I think, the first time they've ever actually replaced a white person with a white person. Dakich, you're making this racial. Well, no, I'm not. I'm just making it the way it is. Are we not allowed to say it the way it is, or do we want equal, of course, but special? Replacing a white person with a white person never happens at ESPN. It just doesn't. Now, somebody's going to point out that it has, and I'm wrong for using the word never. It rarely happens in the post-George Floyd ESPN era. There are two eras at ESPN, pre- and post-George Floyd. It just is. You get mad, glad, angry, or sad. I don't want Stephen A. or Screaming A. Smith out. I don't want him on my NBA coverage, but I want him on that television because at least he gives us content. I certainly don't want Perkins in, and I know I don't want Mark Jackson back. Find somebody good. I mean, find somebody worthwhile. Richard Jefferson is uninteresting. Doris Burke was awful. Legler will add, and you hope that they have a camaraderie that makes for an interesting broadcast. but 3 people in a booth sucks. I don't think Doris Burke was as bad as the NBA fandom says. I don't think this is fair in my opinion, but Legler is going to be fantastic as a part of the team, so that is exciting. All right. We'll see. Go get him, Legs. It's a good start. But they're definitely going to destroy inside the NBA. Boy, you know that's coming. Hey, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. College football is here. Regular season NFL football. Regular season football is here. So don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is very simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. 2,000 times. How about that? You can. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Make your picks. It takes you less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money on Prize Picks. I'll have some picks for you coming up. I stand by those picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code DAKICH. That's me. That's Dakich. To get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DAKICH to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Oh, that was a good one, huh? That's fun to listen to. Back in May, Indianapolis Colts owner Jimmy Irsay unexpectedly passed away at the age of 65. Yesterday, the Washington Post released a report saying new details have come to light regarding the late Colts owner's passing. His battle with drug addiction was highlighted. It was explosive. There's accusations left or right that the franchise deliberately covered up numerous occasions where Irsay had overdosed and received medical attention. The report claims that Irsay spent the last 2 years of his life taking prescription opiates and ketamine, which constituted a drug relapse that he and club executives reportedly hid or denied. The Post adds that Irsay's drug relapse came while he was under the care of a doctor who prescribed him the drugs in amounts that worried people close to him. The same doctor later signed Irsay's death certificate, stating the cause of death was cardiac arrest. No autopsy or toxicology was performed. The Post investigation includes interviews with 5 people with direct knowledge of Irsay's relapse, all of whom spoke under condition of anonymity out of fear of retaliation from the Colts, who are now owned by Irsay's 3 daughters. All 5 sources said they witnessed Irsay consume opiate pills. 4 said they witnessed Irsay receiving ketamine injections. Following the release of the report, Irsay's daughters and the Colts released his statement. Our dad was open about his battles with addiction and mental health. Never claimed to be perfect. The media is not the place to address inquiries about information that is disputed, lacks essential content, and involves private medical matters. Well, here's the deal. I'm going to say this very clearly. If I'm Irsay's daughters, I'm absolutely lying, doing whatever I got to do to protect my dad. If I'm an employee of Jim Irsay, I'm doing the same thing. I don't think Jim Irsay I don't think Jim Irsay, his family, or the Colts owed the public anything. I don't think they owed any transparency into the personal health issues of Jim Irsay. Now, people are going to say, and they have said this to me, that Jim Irsay taking tax dollars, the Colts taking tax dollars to build buildings like Lucas Oil Stadium means they demand, and it is absolute, that they be open and honest about what's going on inside the Colts. I disagree. If my son, my daughter, my stepdaughter, my stepson, my wife, my ex-wife, my sister, my sister-in-law had this type of issue, I would 1,000% protect them with any lies that I needed to. And I would take whatever heat was coming because of that. I'm going to protect them. The Irsay girls, Pete Ward, who's an executive with the Colts protecting Jim Irsay, is spot on. At some point, you have to have a loyalty. At some point, you have to stand up for the people that helped you. And if people in Indianapolis don't like it and people want to write articles, then fine. That's great. Write your article. It'll last about 5 minutes. The NFL starts this week, and away we go. Now, here's what I thought about this. I thought it showed the river, the ocean, between billionaires and normal people. Jim Irsay in my opinion, when I looked at this, died pretty much the same way Michael Jackson, another billionaire, Prince, another billionaire, Matthew Perry, another famous person died. Some suspicious luxury recovery doctor administering what? Ketamine. In Michael Jackson's case, it was propanol, and his doctor went to jail for 4 years serving 2. The doctor of Matthew Perry is under scrutiny. This doctor will as well. I had health professionals on my show in Indy yesterday, one of which said, look, this is something of a legitimate recovery method. But ketamine also, and opiates also can induce a heart attack. So this doctor, who was, quote, a luxury recovery doctor, administers this. Jimmy Irsay passes. Next thing you know, the doctor says it's a heart attack because those drugs can promote a heart attack. No autopsy, no toxicology is ordered by this doctor, and everybody thinks they're going to run away scot-free. I'll give the Washington Post this. I'll give them credit for bringing this up. I will not believe the Washington Post in totality. The Washington Post certainly has lost that privilege of belief, going back to Joe Biden's cognitive ability or going back to what was happening on the border or going back to their treatment of Donald Trump, the lies they have told. It means I don't necessarily believe the Washington Post across the board, but I will say this. Their reporting does once again show the difference between the uber rich and us. You know, I had a lawyer, a defense attorney, a great defense attorney here in the state of Indiana, maybe the best defense attorney in the Midwest, Freddie Vianna, called my show. He's a friend of mine since we were in grade school, and he said, wait a second. He said, I've had clients that we need to send to rehab for this very thing. I'll tell you what we do. It's 28-day inpatient cold turkey. That's what it is. It's not ketamine and opiates to get healthy. That didn't make any sense to me. Now, another health professional said, yeah, it's possible that was a recovery technique, but you're sitting there. I just want you to understand what actually happened here. Jimmy Irsay is in the Beverly Hills Hotel with a luxury recovery doctor giving him massive amounts of drugs in a suite that is set up as a hospital bed. What the hell are we doing? And Michael Jackson's thing, Prince's thing, Matthew Perry's thing is all the same thing. It's amazing to me. It's astounding to me. I don't give a rat's ass how Jimmy Irsay died. If somebody was responsible for it, put their ass in jail. I don't. And I would argue with anybody. And I got people that want to call me names, and that's cool. I'll take all the name calling anybody wants to call me. But the truth of the matter is Jimmy Irsay owes nobody. His kids owed nobody anything except for loyalty to their father. Period. Now, people can disagree, and I welcome the disagreement. That's fine. That's great. I don't care. But this is my opinion. If my kids, if my son, my daughter, my mom, my stepdad, whoever had these type of issues, and there was any way that I could protect them, you're goddamn right, I am doing it. 1,000% I am doing it. Today, tomorrow, the next day. And I'm doing it without guilt. I'm doing it out of love. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. So people want to get on the Colts for covering up? Go ahead. People want to get on the Irsay daughters for covering it up? I say good. Get on them all you'd like, but I defend them. There's nothing they did that was wrong. When it comes to defending your dad, tough shit if somebody doesn't like it. When it comes to defending your brother, your aunt, your uncle, whatever, tough shit if somebody doesn't like it. Just my opinion. Speaking of the Colts, by the way, you enjoying the show? I mean, I'm hacking up a lung. What other show do you get this on? I can barely speak, but I'm here, people. Make sure you head on over. I got a new YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Don't@me with Dan Dakich. There it is right there. All one word, no apostrophes, no nothing. Like it, comment, subscribe to it. You'll never miss any of our great content. Y'all are starting to, we're getting over 1,000. We'll be at a couple thousand. We're going to get to 100,000 at some point. Hey, speaking of the beloved Colts, my guy, my man, my Mensa. Noel, he wasn't the Mensa. Frank Reich was the Mensa. Chris Ballard. He's spoken on his failed quarterback pick, Anthony Richardson. Although I will say this about Anthony Richardson, mark my words. Anthony Richardson will have a say in whether or not the Colts make the playoffs or not by the end of the year. He's proud of Anthony. Really? Okay. The worst GM in NFL history is proud of you. Does that mean you're doing well? I don't think so. He's proud of Anthony, and he has come miles. Really? You drafted the 4th pick. You used the 4th pick in the draft. You said you would have taken him number 1, and he's come miles in year 3. And in coming miles, he hasn't been able to beat out Daniel Jones, who was a 3rd-string quarterback with the Minnesota Vikings last year, got beat out by Tommy, not Danny DeVito. That's coming miles? What are you talking about? Honest to God, you threw him out there. Now remember, Chris Ballard blamed the dead owner, Jimmy Irsay, for throwing Anthony Richardson out there his rookie year. He did an interview last year, but now all of a sudden we picked the guy 4th. We start him in his first game. Ballard says I would have picked him number 1 over Bryce Young and, of course, over C.J. Stroud. You sold us a bill of goods, and now he's come miles? Weird. It's easy to say, okay, he's done. I don't agree. Talking about Richardson, this is Ballard. I've said this numerous times. I do not agree with that. I think overcoming challenges and obstacles along the way are good for anybody. I agree with that. I do. I'm proud of Anthony, of where he is, how far he's come. He's come miles. Now, wait a second. What? The 4th pick in the draft can't beat out Danny Dimes, and he's come miles. How the hell would he have been the 4th pick in the draft? It would have been interesting. People have made this point. It would have been interesting if the Colts did not take him where Anthony Richardson would have fallen to. Would he have fallen like Shedeur Sanders? I don't think so, because he's a monster athlete and people always love and get corrupted by talent. But I got to tell you, it wouldn't have surprised me based on how he's played. It's tough on any young quarterback in this league, but for him to keep taking the growth steps that he has and to work so hard and then not get the goal for himself, all right, now to continue to do that, that's where you've got a chance to see real growth. Okay. All right. Yeah, really? I mean, when Chris Ballard speaks, you know what I hear? I hear what I used to tell my kids when their mother would speak. What do you hear when you hear mommy talk? Blah, 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 blah. That's Chris Ballard. He just talking in that creepy Chris Ballard voice. That's all. Meanwhile, friend of the show, Mike Vrabel, runs a tight ship in New England. He does, unlike our little clowns Steichen and Ballard here in Indy who run nothing. That's my biggest bitch, really, about Ballard, is that he has instilled this. It's a great recorrection in Indy. Polian and Grigson were tough guys. They wanted a recorrection. We'll see. I don't know. Here's his response to a reporter who asked him about Kendrick Bourne and Marcus Epps requesting to be released. The team was already planning on cutting them anyway. Here's our guy, Vrabel. I love Vrabel.
Yeah, that's news to me. I think that we just, again, try to put the roster together. I guess when it doesn't work out, you break up with somebody, your girlfriend doesn't want to be with you, and then you say, well, I don't want to be with you either. I'm not going to get into all that.
So was that?
I just said I'm not going to get into it. It was just like, we're not going to go back and forth here. We're trying to build a roster. You got to move on from some guys. You make connections with guys. You coach them. They earn opportunities. They get more opportunities. They take advantage of them. And that's kind of how these things go.
There you go. Yeah, it's simple. Goodbye to bad rubbish. That's it. That's how you look at it. Hey, speaking of rubbish, the WNBA. Very woke Paige Bueckers used a tragic shooting in Minneapolis to offer up her political viewpoints, viewing the tragedy as an opportunity to rattle off her critique of our nation's Second Amendment and our constitutionally protected right to carry arms. Paige Bueckers, the little girl has thoughts. Oh, I can't wait to hear little girl's thoughts. I've been sending prayers. It's just really unfortunate. I hope there are stricter gun laws put in place so parents don't have to worry about sending their kids to school. People don't have to worry about attending church, and all these places are safe. I'm not sure stricter gun laws are the answer. Like, I'm all for it. We all know Chicago has the strictest gun laws, and guys are shooting each other left and right. Isn't that a red state law in the city of Minneapolis? It's just really unfortunate. Gun violence continues to be an issue, and there's really nothing to be done about it. I'm hoping and praying that in the future, stricter laws are in place. You need to pray for people going through stuff like that, for the families involved. Pray that people get that sickness, that violence out of them. It's just unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not mad at it for any of that. Look, here's the deal. I believe this. The transgender thing is interesting. People have weaponized transgender people, and it is time to look at it. It is time to say, what the hell's going on here? Because so many of these mass shootings are done by trans people. And it is time to stop protecting trans people. I mean, trans people always, the answer is, well, they're going to commit suicide. No. Trans people are killing others. Trans people are going into Catholic schools and shooting people with "Kill Donald Trump" on their rifle. And that ain't good. And we need to seriously investigate, is this mental illness? And we need to stop encouraging, no, not necessarily encouraging. We need to stop making excuses for the Eugene Monthly Monthly Magazine had a picture of a trans guy, girl, whatever the hell you call it, posing with a AK-15, saying transgender folks are locked and loaded and ready to shoot. Well, they are shooting, and it needs to stop. No, seriously, it absolutely needs to stop. Now, one of the things we need to do is we need to make damn sure that we are fair to people. I think, personally, we do need to look at gun laws. I do. You can get mad at me. Are they even worth anything? What is the point of having gun laws? I think that more money should go away from politicians who steal our money and should go to putting armed guards at schools. I think there should be almost damn near invasive protection in our schools. But you know what? What the hell do I know? I mean, I don't know. But I do know this. I want an armed guard at every school. But our money, as Doge pointed out, keeps going to these dumbass politicians. I mean, the freaking teachers union gave so much money, like $46 million, to some bullshit organization promoting some nonsense, cross-dressing or something incredibly stupid. That money could have been used for an armed guard at every school. There are plenty of ex-military men, ex-police out there in all of our communities looking to do something. That's my answer. I mean, my answer is protect our schools by protecting our schools with people that know how to protect things. How about that? Whether it is military bases, whether it is our neighborhoods. We got all kind of military guys in Zionsville when I lived. They're here on this side of Indy where I live now that would love to be commissioned to protect our schools. Why don't we do it? No, it's just sickening. It's another example of our money going places that it doesn't need to go. Put money into that, period. Good guy with a gun beats a bad guy with a gun. It's that simple. I don't know. It's insane to me. Just 4 years of stampeding across Folsom Field, Ralphie 6 is hanging up her hooves. The University of Colorado announced Tuesday that its live mascot, 5-year-old bison named Ember, has officially retired from her role of leading the Buffalo's football team onto the field. The reason? A highly relatable lack of enthusiasm for cardio. How about that? Even Buffalo don't want to work out anymore due to an indifference of running typical of many mammals, both four-legged and two-legged. It was determined that it was in Ember's best interest, based on her disposition, to focus on relaxing strolls in the pasture, which is her favorite hobby. That's a University of Colorado statement. Ralphie 6 made her debut in 2021 at just 15 months old and 500 pounds. She quickly became one of the most iconic traditions in college football, the Ralphie Run, in which a team of handlers sprints a full-size bison around the field just before kickoff. But Ember never fully warmed up to the gig because Ember's lazy as hell. And Colorado says she's much happier off the gridiron. She'll now join her predecessor, Ralphie 5, Blackout, in a well-earned retirement on the ranch. For the time being, Coach Prime and the Buffaloes will take the field without a Ralphie. Training has begun on her successor, Ralphie 7. But she's not quite ready for game day. Colorado opens it up on Friday today against Georgia Tech. There you go, man. All right. There you go. I don't know what to tell you, but I know this. I want to see Ralphie running. I think it's fun. Hey, I'm giving you prize picks. Football's starting. Started last night. How about, I don't know, is Nebraska any good? They barely beat freaking Cincinnati. Now, maybe Cincinnati's good. I don't know. But prize picks, Dak Prescott, this is a given. This is a gimme. It's a gimme. It's Thursday night. It's the Eagles. They're giving you a pick here. More than 0.5 passing yards. So all Prescott's got to do is get a yard, and you're going to win that one. And then the other one is Justin Jefferson. I want a little juice to it. Justin Jefferson, got to get a touchdown. All he's got to do is get a touchdown. Justin Jefferson gets a touchdown, and away we go. That's it. That's all. Just get a touchdown. Opening game, you're throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson. You get a touchdown. That pays up to 3 times your money. 20 gets you 60. 60 gets you 180. You know what I'm saying? I like it. Download the Prize Pick app today. Use code Dakich to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Dakich to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. What's wrong with that? I love it. I like those two. You got to take the gimme, right? I mean, what the hell? And then Jefferson gets a touchdown. I'm good. Hey, we didn't do the damn awards. We're doing them today. Studs of the week, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, you got engaged to the biggest pop star in America, in the world. Not ever, but you get the point. Yeah. Now, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. Her look doesn't do it really for me. And, of course, her music is more suited to my daughter than it is to me. But, hey, what the hell? And then you're partnering with American Eagle. On the rise, Sydney Sweeney, American Eagle. Let's go. Sydney Sweeney, Travis Kelce, American Eagle stocks going through the roof. How about that? That's pretty damn good. Kyle Hamilton. How about you? That's right. The former Notre Dame now, what's it called? Baltimore Ravens safety. Listen to this. He became the first safety to ever break the $100 million barrier. I don't know if it's a barrier, but I called it a barrier. First ever. $1 million+. And he seems like a great dude. I saw a couple interviews with him, both in college and recently. What a great dude, man. There's nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong with him at all. He's terrific. He's fantastic. And if you're going to be the Ravens and you're going to be this tough, hard-playing team, you might as well have a safety that's a badass. And Kyle Hamilton's a badass now. You got to keep healthy. You got to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy. Losers of the week. All right. Davey, I'm bringing you in on this. Do you think the Dallas Cowboys trading Micah Parsons makes them losers in this entire thing? What do you think of the Micah Parsons trade?
Dan, I definitely think it makes them losers. Green Bay, big winner here because they're going all in. But they're going to – so the Cowboys are going to get 2 first-round picks. They're going to be late first-round picks. And they get, Kenny Clark. He's a great defensive tackle. But when you just look at how this defense for Dallas is stacking up, I just struggle to see them being able to do anything if they do make the playoffs. So, I mean, this is definitely a loser situation, as I would call it, for the Dallas Cowboys.
See, I disagree. I think Micah Parsons would have been a pain in the ass all year, and I think for the first time, Jerry Jones isn't subjecting himself to talent over chemistry and camaraderie. We'll see, but is it even odder that the city of Dallas lost 2 of the biggest stars, one in the NBA in Luka Doncic and one in the NFL in Micah Parsons? That just seems, I guess, ironic, coincidental. I don't know, Davey. I don't know.
It's definitely detrimental if you're a Dallas sports fan. Like, there's no other way around it. You think you have 2 iconic players, some would even argue a once-in-a-generation type talent, and you lose them both in the NBA, in the NFL in the same season. It's hard to come back. And if you're a Dallas sports fan, you're just like, I don't even know what to do at this point.
Yeah, honest to God, man, you okay. I guess in the Cowboys instance, you're trying to spin it. Jerry Jones said we didn't guard the run well. We got Frank Clark or whatever it is in there. Okay, fine. But you got a little bit of hope because the season's getting ready to start. I guess you got a little bit of hope because everybody says if healthy, Anthony Davis and the front line, Lively, and a couple others, they could be pretty good. And I don't know. You're instead of basing it on talent, you're basing it on hope, and that's not a good thing.
No, and,
right?
And to your point, Dan, the other thing that like Dallas Cowboys fans might be saying at this point is like, well, it at least worked out for the Mavericks in the fact they were able to get a generational talent in what's supposed to be Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is there's no lottery to where the Cowboys could finish, the 14th worst team and still end up with the best pick in this situation. So,
yeah, Cooper Flagg gives them hope and Lively and Davis, and the Cowboys, hey, all you got to do is win opening night. And at least for 2 weeks, because you got 10 days after that, people will be like, not such a bad trade. But, man, it's just weird. It's just very, very, very weird. Rashee Rice got himself a 6-game suspension for being an idiot. I don't know if you remember, but Rashee Rice is the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver that decided it was a good idea to drive 100 miles an hour, 110 or whatever it is in traffic on a freeway, crash into 6 people, and then walk away with his phone laughing. He and his boys. You got to take stupid pills to be that stupid. You got it seriously. Like, you wake up and you're not that stupid. But all of a sudden you take a few pills and now you are that stupid. And next thing you know, hey, I got a problem. Now it's amazing. So he's going to get 6-game suspension, and he should get a 6-game suspension. Craziest story of the week. Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson's next venture. Here it is. Gold digger. According to trademark attorney Josh Gerben, Belichick and his girlfriend and assistant, Jordan Hudson, have filed a trademark with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for Gold Digger with the intention of launching a jewelry brand. Okay. If that's what you want to do, Billy B., then go ahead and do it. Man, I remember not too long ago, there was a day where Bill Belichick was a Super Bowl winning coach that didn't give a rat's ass about anything other than winning the next game. I remember that day. That day does not seem to be that far away, but maybe it is. In Bill Belichick's mind, or at least in his public mind, his public persona now, that day was a long time ago. Again, I would be this. I would be, if I were North Carolina, I'd be like, wait a second, we hired this guy. Why are we getting that guy? Now, maybe this girl has him by the you-know-whats. Maybe this girl, but damn, is this just another example of no matter who you are or what you're about or what you've always been about, is this another example of it's undefeated? You know what it is, right? I'm sure you do. And if you don't, look it up. Go ask your dad. God dang, it is so undefeated. When Bill Belichick is there doing that right there, it's undefeated. Best story of the week, Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley doing what he thinks is best for Team USA in the Ryder Cup. That's right, surprising everybody by not selecting himself as a playing captain. I don't think it would have pissed off anybody because Keegan Bradley's been playing great. Keegan Bradley is a tough competitor. But he said, I made this decision a long time ago, just be the captain. Pretty nice of him. Who knows? Maybe this would have been Keegan Bradley's last chance to be a player, which is a goal of every PGA Tour American player and European player to play in this event. This is the biggest event in the golfing world. But Keegan Bradley made, I guess it's a selfless decision. Some are saying it's a selfish decision that he is good enough and he should be playing because he is one of the people on the golf course participating against a European player that would help the United States win the Ryder Cup. I don't know. But he did what he thought was best. And I'm not going to argue with Keegan Bradley because I like him. I think he's tough as hell. I think he's going to be a good captain. I think the United States may actually win at Bethpage Black. USA. We'll be right back with Joe Kinsey, Screencaps. Hot women, fast cars, good eats next.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football. You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
Outkick's giving one lucky fan and a guest a VIP treatment. This is your shot to punch your ticket to the college football weekend of a lifetime.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course. We're also hooking up 10 more fans with Outkick hats, and everyone who enters gets a discount to the Outkick shop.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit outkick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
Does anybody, is he going to have to stroke a check? Has anything like that happen as far as messing up anybody's houses in here?
He didn't. I did not hear any glass break. I did hear him say, please don't watch my shot. Don't look at that shot. But, he did well.
Landon, what did you think of the overall experience?
With all these live professionals and live golfers out here, their games didn't seem to impress me when I was caddying for Dan. He's easily the best golfer here at Chapman Hills. He's a great guy.
We're here with Dan's golf coach, Lee.
Yes.
How was today?
Up and down. I'm going to say up and down. I think first 9, Dan played really well. He did. And then got a little shaky towards the end there. Putting was way off. He's usually a better putter. Putting was way off. But you know what? Great day. A lot of good people. Had fun. And I have to say, as soon as I didn't have to be his caddy anymore, he may have started playing better.
I will say, the live experience, it seemed like every 3 or 4 holes there was a bar set up. Do you think once we kind of got to the bars, that played a pretty big impact as far as Dan's game?
It may have. I'm not gonna confirm that one way or the other.
We're here with the man of the hour, Dan Dakich. You just finished 18 holes. Dan, how are you feeling?
I feel great. I tell you what, it makes you feel like a big guy. You're inside the ropes. You're playing like a set-up championship course. I hit the ball good, couldn't putt, but what a great time. My wife was there, Landon was there, great pros. What a great day. Thanks to everybody at Outkick for letting me do it, get me in this thing. Yeah, I don't know. The overestimation of I got tired. I'm not going to lie, Davey. I don't know, the bars and all that. I did take a shot. Actually, I took 2 shots because my back started hurting. Here's what happens when you get old. I told my wife, I go, man, I'm getting stiff as I walk. I don't know. And I think when I went in the hot box, there was a bathroom that was in the sun, and I went in it, and I came out, and I was drenched with sweat. I'm like, oh, don't go in there, fellas. But thanks for coming out. That was a great day, and I got to lose my stomach. The stomach, it's got to go. Stomach has got to go. Too much stomach.
Nah, Dan, we had a great time. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And, following around, you had some great interviews. We're going to have some more content coming out later. I know we got an interview we're about to play, but it was a good time. Yeah, it's the way in which Lee answered that question I thought was great because I had to go away for a bit, so I didn't know if things got off the rails while Ryan and I were away while y'all were, I guess, playing. I think it was around holes 1 through 5.
Started out really well in the back, and I did shank 2. I shanked 1 on the front, and then on 8, I shanked 1 off the tee. But the beauty is we were playing a shambles, so you got to, play the best drive. But I think I needed to start drinking before the round. I think that was more important. I think, oh, man, I was telling Lee, I go, damn. And you should have seen, by the time we were done, You know him, you love him, you watch him. Hot women, fast cars, good eats. It is Screencaps with the great Joe Kinsey. Joe, nice enough to join us. Let's go. Run the stinger. Oh. Jose, I'm playing hurt, but I'm wearing the mower's gear. I love it, Joe. I love the outfits we got going, matching. We're like the yin and yang of Outkick, baby. Let's go.
Unbelievable. Look at this. I didn't know you even had that one on today. I thought I wore the one that you didn't have on, and then I ended up wearing the one you do have on. Dan, that's just the symmetry that we've got going on. Minus your voice. My voice is just rocking real hard this weekend. It sounds like you've been smoking cigs for nonstop for a month. Dan, let's get into it. Barely use your voice. I don't want you to lose any more of it.
Thank you, Joe. Well, let's go. Let's do it. Who's up here first?
Oh, let me just get into it right here, Dan. Penny Lane. I'll tell you what, Dan, if we go back about 3 years, I was literally pounding on the table, Dan. I was pounding. I'm like, Sports Illustrated has to do the right thing. They've got to get Penny Lane into the magazine. And what did they do? 2 years later, those wokes finally came to their senses, Dan, and they put Penny Lane in the magazine. Thank God they had a little bit of coming to Jesus moment, but a legend in Screencaps world, Penny Lane. She's British, Dan. You don't see too many British bikini models. They used to have that Paige 3 or whatever it was in the UK. It was huge. You don't see as many bikini models nowadays. Penny Lane is a throwback to the early days of the internet.
I know what I see in Penny Lane, but what did you see in Penny Lane back in the day?
Well, Dan, I mean, it's the total package, right? Like height. It's like she's like a 5-tool Instagram model, bikini model, Dan. It's really what I look for. They have to jump off the screen in some way, Dan. And then if you add all the intangibles, I hate to sound like Mel Kiper right now, but Penny Lane is a first-day draft pick every day of the week at Screencaps.
They definitely jump off the screen. Ash X Schultz next. Let's have a look.
Yeah, Ashley Schultz, another one. I haven't been banging the drum as much for Ashley Schultz, but I'm about to start banging the drum, Dan. The content this summer has been off the charts for Ashley Schultz. It's also about the photos. I need like, I just came home from work. I'm throwing on the bikini to go out to the backyard pool, maybe get a couple of patio margaritas. I need that look, Dan. Ashley Schultz has been smart about it, and she knows, give guys that theory that she's about to go drink patio margaritas. I love this one.
Joe, is this the end of summer look that you like, Joe, before we head into fall or Halloween or the holidays?
Great point. Great point about that one, Dan. Yes. We're on this big Respect Summer campaign right now for Screencaps. And when we say Respect Summer, we don't want Instagram models to just throw the bikinis into the closet. We want them to finish strong, Dan. We know sweater weather is coming, ladies. We know the Halloween season will be here soon, and you'll have to be the dirty nurse. But we want you to finish bikini season strong. And Ashley Schultz, she does that. That's the key. These models that throw away the bikinis early, Dan, that's why they don't have the algorithm strength. Ashley Schultz gets it. That's why she's on Screencaps. That's why she's on Don't At Me.
Well, I would argue in my town here in Indianapolis, we got another 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks of summer. We're not done here yet. Sun is shining and the pool is open. What are we doing, right?
Dan, I have to be full disclosure here. I had to turn my space heater on yesterday. It really sent shockwaves. Right. It sucked, but it was cold up here. We get the Arctic air.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I'm Perrysburg, Ohio. I get it. I live there. I know. Jalen Music. Music, always a favorite, Joe. Always a favorite.
Yeah. You know what? I have to say, my favorite color is blue. And when she wore this, I saw blue, and I said to myself, it's got to go in. She's been on a blue kick. I don't know about why she's into the blue bikinis right now. I probably should send her a DM. She probably won't answer me. But I said, look, blue starfish on the bikini. Are you kidding me? You don't see it very often, Dan. That's why Jadalyn Music is one of the best. She's one of the all-timers. And there's like 7 blue bikini photos that she dumped out this week. I don't know what it means, but she's finishing strong this year, Dan.
Joe, would you argue she's been the most valuable player of the summer?
Yeah, maybe. She's had a big summer. There's Sydney Sweeney had a big summer too. That from all American Eagle controversy.
Yeah.
But Jadalyn Music, I will say this, Dan, she's like a 300 hitter. She's in the lineup every single day, and she is dependable. It's like the Tony Gwynn of Instagram models. She doesn't strike out very often, Dan. The ball is put in play, and that's why we like her.
No, that's a great point right there. That's a great analogy. Fantastic. Anastasia. We got an Anastasia. I had a sister Anastasia. She was our nun. She was our principal. This ain't no nun.
No, I got to say, Anastasia jumped off the screen this week, and I've been on this big thing about Croatia and the Mediterranean areas of the world, Dan, and I think the algorithm finally picked up on it, and they threw Anastasia right into my algorithm. Now she's there to stay because I think I followed her. But if she's going to be in the Mediterranean, doing the bikini thing, I'm in now. She has the look. A lot of guys get mad at me. They're like, you have too many blondes. You have too many of this. You have too many of that. I said, Anastasia, the brunette, gets in, and now she's going to be a mainstay. She's here to stay, Dan. That's all I can say.
I like the background. The background.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The background looks fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the background's fun. Hadelin, Mope. What are we doing with Hadelin? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
She is out of Alabama. I assume your southern staff down there in Alabama and Nashville picked this one. Davey Hudson probably picked this one out. Listen, Hadelin Hope, she's been big. She's in and out, Dan. I need more consistency out of her. She does jump off the screen when she does show up for work, Instagram modeling. I think, Dan, she is a sleeper. I will bang on the wood. Next year, if she keeps it up, Sports Illustrated should come calling. She's been big down there in Alabama, and watch out.
Joe, I'm going to say something that I don't know that I'm qualified to say, but this is an awkward picture. I look at this picture, and it feels awkward to me. And I'm not, there's too much movement. The right arm there extended with the white. It's an awkward picture. We could do better than that, Joe. I'm rarely critical. But I'm feeling we could do better.
Doesn't that arm look long? The arm.
Yeah.
It looks way too long.
Yeah.
It looks like a leg.
It kind of looks misplaced as a dead leg, a prosthetic that we put up there, and it just, Joe.
It looks like AI put a leg on her arm.
Right. That's what it looks like. Jenny, why? Jenny. Let's see it. Oh,
yeah.
Boy, hello.
Yeah, this wasn't the photo I thought they were going to go with this week. I saw Jenny on the rundown, but I didn't look at the photo. I wanted it to be a surprise. Jenny Shawcross, famous Eagles fan on Instagram. She was in the UK, and she did a British flag skirt, Dan, a tight mini skirt with the British flag. And I thought that the guys would go for that one, but they didn't. This is Jenny. She does Thailand a lot. I don't know what's going on over there, but she's in Thailand a lot. But I think she's back on U.S. soil because the Eagles are going to start playing, Dan. She loves the Eagles. Watch out for her during the football season. If you guys type in Instagram models that love the NFL, Jenny Shawcross is your woman.
Yeah, I remember her now that you say that. She's generally in Eagles gear. Now, that's going to be moving it forward, Joe, before I let you go. That's going to be the thing coming up here within the next 2 weeks, right? As the NFL starts, little cut down here, jersey type thing, cut at midriff, that kind of thing, right?
Dan, I can't emphasize it enough. It is the time of year. Who's going to be the first Instagram model to dump out the NFL content? First one out of the gates is going to be the winner. I don't know who it's going to be, but keep your eyes on Tuesday next week, Dan. Tuesday is the day that I expect a lot of content to drop, and I will be watching.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Dan, have a good one. Great weekend.
Thank you. Before we go here, before we go, let's make certain that we recap our Prize Picks picks. Now, these are not starting until next week, but we gave you 4. We gave you Aaron Rodgers basically over 2,200 yards, and we combined that on a season-long pick with over 1,200 yards for our guy, Jonathan Taylor. And then coming up this week, we gave you more than 0.5 passing yards for Dak Prescott and more than 0.5 touchdowns for Justin Jefferson. We combine those two, and it's gonna pay up to 3 times. There you go. Make sure you go and download the Prize Pick app today. Put in DAKICH and get $50 when you play a $5 lineup. I'm done for the week. Hopefully my voice gets better. Have a great weekend, everybody.